Now it's time for the Sport Report. We cover all of the news and the results from the night before in the sports world. Become an expert on sports in under 15 minutes. Today, Chandler with Sports covers the MLB games from yesterday.
Hey TJ, what's going on? I'm Chandler.
Hey TJ, what's going on? I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports.
And I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports.
Welcome to a special edition of this all crazy sports newscast.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler with Sports and this is the Sport Report.
Chandler with Sports is how he wants to go. With is his middle name, Sports his last name.
I want to get you out the door with every result from every league in under 15 minutes so that you're more informed about what's going on in the world of sports. With that in mind, here we go. Hit it, Blaze.
This is the Sport Report.
Sunday, September 8th, 2019. Hey everybody, I'm Chandler with Sports and this is the Sport Report. Before we jump into the results from yesterday, let's catch up on the top story of the night. This is top of the order.
Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl.
I don't believe what I just saw.
This is top of the order.
Our top story does not come from a single city, but rather two cities, one on each coast of the United States. Let's bring you up to speed on Antonio Brown. He started the day as an Oakland Raider, he ends the day as a New England Patriot. Except he wasn't traded. Rather, he got himself released from the Oakland Raiders. Coach John Gruden and GM Mike Mayock had been having a few issues with Antonio Brown over the past few days, and they finally decided to cut their losses. They released him this morning, voiding his $30 million worth of guaranteed money, and they also fined him an additional $215,000. He got the message and then went on Instagram to complain, and when he went on Instagram, he actually said, "Release me, at Raiders." So they did just that. Then the conversation throughout the day was, where would Antonio Brown play next if he plays at all? The rumor mill began to turn, and then all of a sudden, people were starting to discuss the New England Patriots. Well, it was a joke at first. Bill Belichick didn't think it was a joke. He actually offered $15 million in a one-year contract to Antonio Brown, $10 million of which is guaranteed. Well, Antonio Brown, after complaining and not showing up to work and doing a lot of things that were very disrespectful to the Oakland Raiders, gets his wish and he'll be playing NFL football in week number 2. He did not make the cutoff deadline of 4 p.m. Eastern on Saturday to be on an NFL roster, therefore he cannot play in week 1. And boy, oh boy, if he'd made the Patriots roster in week 1, they play the Pittsburgh Steelers later tonight. My oh my, what a spectacle that would have been. In the end, Antonio Brown gets his wish, and he made a lot of enemies in the process. Aside from Antonio Brown making more drama in the NFL, we had college football on the calendar as well as some tennis. So let's get to the college football scoreboard. Unranked Maryland defeats Syracuse 63-20. Syracuse hadn't lost to an unranked team when they were ranked since 1998. In double overtime at the Big House, Michigan was pushed to their limits, but they pull it out against Army, recovering a fumble in double overtime. 24-21, Maize and Blue pull out the win. Number 1 Clemson defeats number 12 Texas A&M 24-10. Number 6 LSU goes into Austin, Texas to defeat the Texas Longhorns 45-38. Joe Burrows becomes the third LSU quarterback in history to throw for more than 400 yards. This was the first meeting between these schools since 1954 and LSU's first victory over Texas since 1938. Unranked USC 45, 23rd ranked Stanford 20. USC trailed 20-10 at one point, and they scored 35 unanswered to take down the Cardinal. BYU 29, Tennessee 26, double overtime. Tennessee led for the majority of this game, and then BYU had the ball inside their own 10-yard line with no timeouts and under a minute to play, and it looked like the game was going to be over, but then a 64-yard completion set up a field goal, which barely sneaked in on the right upright, sent the game to overtime. They both scored a touchdown in overtime, Tennessee and BYU, and then Tennessee kicked a field goal at the start of the second overtime. BYU then scored a touchdown to win the game. Tennessee falls to 0-2 for the first time since 1988. North Carolina 28, Miami 25. In a back-and-forth game, Mac Brown's Tar Heels are finally back on top. They defeat an old ACC rival and improve to 2-0 on the season. Miami missed a 49-yard field goal wide to the left at the end of regulation to tie the game. North Carolina by 3. Finally, to cap it all off as one of the most intriguing games of the day, a renewing of the rivalry between two Big 8 schools back in the day, Colorado and Nebraska in Boulder at Folsom Field. Nebraska led 17-0 at one point, then Colorado came roaring back. The game was tied at 24. Nebraska scored late in the fourth, but Colorado scored even later. 31-all going to overtime. Colorado kicks a field goal on their opening possession, and in college football, both teams get to possess the ball. Nebraska tried to drive down the field, but they went 3 and out, tried to kick a 48-yarder, but their kicker was injured before the game, so the backup kicker, the punter, came out and kicked his second career field goal attempt, a 48-yarder, but he shanked it wide right. That's on its way to Greeley by now. And the Nebraska Cornhuskers blow a 17-0 lead to the Colorado Buffaloes. Oh, for native Nebraskans like myself, it's just a sad day to be a Husker. It's Colorado's first come-from-behind victory of 17 or more points since 1997. They'll be partying all night in Boulder after this one. From college football, we head to the tennis world. Yesterday, it was absolute chaos in Flushing Meadows for the U.S. Open. We go out to Sport Report tennis correspondent Ben Finlow, who's joining us for an additional segment today. We'll have him on tomorrow's episode for a segment as well. But Ben, what happened at Flushing Meadows?
A recurring theme from the U.S. Open. Boss, you forgot to apply for my press pass. Not the first time you've done that with a correspondent.
In my defense, dang it, we ran into this issue with Tyler Corbo for the Tour de France. I apologize. We'll fix it for next year. Please, as you were saying.
The more important theme here is that Serena Williams cannot convert the chances she has in major finals. She can't clinch that 24th major championship to tie Margaret Court for the most all-time major championships. She's had 4 chances and cannot convert. Back-to-back U.S. Open finals. She lost to Naomi Osaka last year. And this year, she lost to Bianca Andreescu 3-6, 5-7. She's also fallen in back-to-back Wimbledon finals. She'll have another chance at the Aussie Open in January. Until then, she has time to fix some mechanics in her game. Tomorrow, in the men's final, number 5 seed Daniil Medvedev from Russia will take on number 2 Rafael Nadal from Spain. Nadal is looking for the 12th consecutive major title by him, Federer, or Djokovic. If Medvedev wins, it'll be his first career major. Should be a good matchup. It'll air on ESPN at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'll be back tomorrow for a recap of the men's final. Back to with Shorts in the studio.
Thanks, Ben. Now to Major League Baseball.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone! And Carlton Fisk had a lot of little boy in him right there.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight and the Mets win it.
Touch 'em all, Joe. Home run! Mike Piazza!
Jeter backhands from the outfield grass. Got it! Man, what a play!
Now from Major League Baseball.
The MLB lineup from yesterday includes 15 games.
Before we dive into the Major League Baseball slate, the first 15-game slate of the week, we would like to mention that MLB recaps are going to be a lot more condensed with the NFL season beginning. Not to say that the MLB will receive less coverage than the NFL. We're going to do what we can to cover both sports equally. But if you don't hear as many stats in a baseball game, please do not be alarmed. We're trying to fit everything into under 15 minutes, and that can include soccer and tennis and golf and any other sport that we have to cover in a given night. So without further ado, let's head to Major League Baseball. New York Yankees 5, Boston Red Sox 1. J.A. Happ improves to 12-8 on the season for the Yankees. Edwin Encarnacion had a 2-run homer in the top half of the fourth to help the Yankees get on the board. They would win by those 4 runs. Milwaukee Brewers 3, Chicago Cubs 2. Josh Hader gets his 3rd win of the season. Milwaukee walks it off in the bottom half of the 9th inning, thanks to Christian Yelich's double to score Tyler Austin. San Diego Padres 3, Colorado Rockies 0. Joey Lucchesi improves to 10-7 on the season for the Padres. Jeff Hoffman falls to 1-6 for the Rockies, and Kirby Yates gets his 40th save of the season for San Diego. The Rockies only had 3 hits on the afternoon. Atlanta Braves 5, Washington Nationals 4. Julio Teheran improves to 10-8 on the season for the Braves. Arizona Diamondbacks 2, Cincinnati Reds 0. Diamondbacks pitcher Alex Young improves to 7-3 on the season. The rookie had 12 strikeouts in this game, the most strikeouts by a Diamondbacks rookie pitcher in a single game. Luis Castillo falls to 14-6 for the Reds, who also had 3 hits on the afternoon. Kansas City Royals 7, Miami Marlins 2. Danny Duffy is 6-6 on the season for the Royals as they scored 6 runs in the top half of the 7th inning. Tampa Bay Rays 5, Toronto Blue Jays 3. Toronto took a 3-2 lead in the 6th inning, but Tampa scored their next 3 runs in the 7th and 8th innings combined. Texas Rangers 9, Baltimore Orioles 4. Rougned Odor had a 3-run homer in the top half of the 1st inning as part of the 6-run 1st inning for Texas. Baltimore got 3 of those runs back in the home half of the 1st. After that 9-run 1st inning, they would combine for 4 more runs. St. Louis Cardinals 10, Pittsburgh Pirates 1. Adam Wainwright improves to 11-9 on the season for the Cardinals. Marcell Ozuna had another homer for St. Louis, a 3-run homer in the top half of the 3rd. Houston Astros 2, Seattle Mariners 1. Justin Verlander struck out 7 Mariner batters in this game in his most recent start since that no-hitter earlier in the week. He improves to 18-5 with a 2.52 ERA for the Astros, who improved to 15-1 against the Mariners on the season, their most wins against one opponent in a single season. Philadelphia Phillies 5, New York Mets nothing. Drew Smyly improves to 4-6 on the season for the Phillies. The Mets only had 5 hits on the afternoon. Minnesota Twins 5, Cleveland Indians 3. Mitch Garver had 2 home runs in this game for the Minnesota Twins, and the Twins took the lead in the bottom half of the 7th inning when they scored 4 of their 5 runs in the bottom half of the inning. Cleveland got 1 back, but it wouldn't be enough. LA Angels 8, Chicago White Sox 7. Andrew Heaney improves to 4-4 on the season for the Angels, as Shohei Ohtani had 5 RBI in this game for LA. Oakland Athletics 10, Detroit Tigers 2. Chris Bassett improves to 10-5 on the season for the A's. Jordan Zimmerman falls to 1-10 for the Tigers. And in the final game of the night, San Francisco Giants 1, LA Dodgers nothing. Kevin Pillar grounded out, but he scored Mike Yastrzemski, the grandson of Hall of Famer Carl Yastrzemski. That would be the lone run in this game. That's the Sport Report for Sunday, September 8th, 2019.
For now, I'm Chandler.
Thanks for tuning into the Sport Report today. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest in sports. In the words of Jack Buck, who is one of the best broadcasters of his generation,
And we'll see you tomorrow night.
So let it be written, so let it be done. See you next time on The Sport Report.
Do you want to contact Chandler with sports, have thoughts on sports, or questions about advertising on The Sport Report? Find us on Twitter or Instagram at SportReportCWS for either social media site.
This podcast is copyrighted by The Sport Report for viewers to understand sports from a news reporting basis. Any other use of this podcast, Sport Report logos, or anything associated with this podcast without the express written consent of Chandler with Sports is strictly prohibited.